What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, Sleepy Droopy. Today we're going to be taking a look at the two big events that happened this weekend and look at their metagame and the top decks. And that is the Metafy Online Regional as well as Brisbane Regionals in Australia. So let's get straight onto the video and take a look at the Metafy top decks. So now, first off with Metafy, seems like Jolteon won, and let's looking at the metagame. 25% Mew is insane, and then we have 9% Arceus and Teleon, and then 8%, around 9 to 10% with Rapid Strike Malamar, then right around 7.5% with Gengar, and then Arceus the Duraludon at a 5%, close to 5%. So those were the top 5 most popular decks. So let's take a look at the standing. It looks like Giovanni Paragallo has won using Jolteon, which honestly is a deck that a lot of people like just said it was dead because of Metafy, but people weren't playing Metafy, so this is the perfect time for Jolteon to come into play. On top of that, it's also a path deck, so the fact that Mew is 25% of the metagame makes this deck also very viable because it's very easy for Jolteon to run 4 path and get that down turn 1 fairly quickly and just shut down Mew from the game. I think that's why Jolteon was just able to excel. People weren't like treating it with respect, and I feel like it's gonna be like that. Now I'm expecting a lot of Manaphy's to be played in decks everywhere. So just because Jolteon won, so even decks that shouldn't be playing Manaphy will be playing Manaphy, just because people will be scared of Jolteon. So congratulations to Giovanni. We also have Juan Andre, who won with an interesting Arceus and Teleon with Baby Moltres deck. This deck makes sense because again, 25% meta share of Mew. You're gonna be attacking with Arceus, and then Galarian Moltres comes in late game to take out KOs onto the Mews. And then you also playing Path to the Peak just to shut them out the game if you need to. So not bad at all. Arceus provides with Drizzle and Teleon line, provides that consistency. So, and then late game you just kind of swing with Galarian Moltres. So not a very interesting spin on Arceus and Teleon. It seems to work out well for them. I think with this deck, if you're gonna continue playing it, I don't think Yveltal is really good. We'll see later in the Brisbane Regional. Mews are playing a lot more double turbo, so Yveltal is probably less effective. This is probably gonna be better served as either a Dunsparce or possibly a Farfetch'd, just because that Cry Destruction is gonna be less powerful to get off. And then we have the rest of the top is basically the same decks. It's just a ton of Mew and then another Arceus and Teleon. Take a look at the Arceus and Teleon. This is just a more standard Arceus and Teleon running that Farfetch'd and Dunsparce combo as stated before. Again, this is probably the route that a lot more Arceus decks are going to be running, just because Yveltal and Mew's running a lot more double turbo. Yveltal is just less effective. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at Mew list. Again, standard. Again, this is where the double turbos started coming into play this past week. An interesting combination of double turbo. I'm honestly very surprised that double turbo took this long to take a hold of the meta into Mew. Double turbo just being able to attack quickly with Mew VMAX just seems insane. So like, I think double turbo gives them that flexibility to just be able to get off attacks fairly quickly, and also prevents plays such as Fan or even Yveltal. At this point, not even energy denial affects Mew, so Mew seems very unstoppable right now. Now that like no basic energy is getting played, again, you're still seeing these kinds of decks do well, like with Psychic and double turbo. But now that Natalie has kind of proven that you can beat Duraludon with just special energy, we're probably going to see an uptick of play of people just dropping the Psychic energies for all double turbos. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look further. Yeah, all these Mews are just general Mews, and then Patricia just decided to play the double turbo. We have some more interesting deck. Torbeckliff going ahead, whiffing top 8 with Malamar, which is another good deck. Malamar, again, just a single prize that can take one shot. So honestly, just that alone can win you games. And then we're going to see Braden 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 made it close to top 16 with a Malamar VMAX deck, which is pretty interesting. Again, providing that hand disruption with Malamar VMAX on top of weakness against that Mew deck. We also have Eternatus Black Angel 61220. Again, just hitting weakness for that Mew. Against Mew could win you games, and this guy, oh my god, this guy hit the lottery, hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Mews, and only lost to Patricia. The only Mew they lost to was Patricia, and they kind of I think they should have tied here. Like, I don't understand why this should have been a tie for them, but they whiffed like top 8 because of that. I think if they had tied, they would have made top 8. And then we have Super Gag here making top 16 with an archetype of one of my favorite probably archetypes right now, with Arceus Delmise running that barrel line. It's something that I've been thinking about as well as the next step, but this guy was a step ahead and ran barrel. He's also playing Avery and Collapse Stadium. Avery, can provide some disruption, and then Collapse Stadium can provide that healing. So let's say something damage, or you can take off a Crobat or a Luminion as liabilities. So Collapse Stadium allows us to remove liabilities off the board, so not bad at all. Congrats to Super Gag for that nice little top 16 finish there with a non-meta deck. And then aside from that, everything else is pretty standard in this Metafy top 16. Now we're going to be looking at Brisbane. I think I'm saying that right, Brisbane. But we have Natalie Miller taking the win there. Again, just playing double turbos and just dropping basic energies and just going for consistency with the double turbos. Really interesting list here. I'm playing 2 Rose Towers and 4 Rotom Phones and stuff like that. So interesting choices here. 2 Rose Towers seems insane. I don't know if I can run just 2 stadiums with me with so much path out there. And they beat out Arceus Duraludon, showing that the horn made a difference in that matchup. Playing 1 Echoing Horn, because you can knock out an Arceus V, knock out a Duraludon V, and then bring back a Duraludon V for knockout. And that's how you kind of go with that game plan. So it's really, really good there. And aside from that, everything else is just basic. We have Peter Lowe, who ran an interesting, again, Arceus Moltres deck, mostly centered around Moltres, which is pretty good, and it got him pretty far. Running a 2/2 line, then Galarian Moltres, and a Galarian Moltres V, as well as Hoopa. So he kind of just ran more of a dark Arceus deck, but just focused around Galarian Moltres and Galarian Moltres V instead. Then another interesting, Anthony Smith taking 6th place with a Suicune V Arceus V deck Inteleon, which is pretty interesting. Suicune V, it's a nice aggressive attacker to attack if you're going second with, and then Arceus V Star is also good going first. So nice little, you have a good starters going first or seconds either way. So Suicune and Arceus V are great starters to go with. So not bad at all. Congrats to a nice 6th place finish to Anthony Smith. That Suicune Arceus Inteleon could be a very interesting archetype to try out. Aside from that, everything else is just really standard list. You got Gengar, which honestly came up here because, again, you were expecting a lot of Mew. So as long as you're set up with Gengar and you have a nice setup against Mew in a best of 3, Gengar can come out on top. Obviously, Mew will sometimes win out still, but Gengar can still pull out wins against Mew. So we see 2 made it into the top 16, which is very interesting. Top 16, and honestly, I was not expecting Mew to win. I was expecting Mew to make it to top 8, like over half, but I wasn't expecting it to win. But Natalie Miller just pulling a clinic with Mew, so not bad at all. Interesting results in both of the 2 biggest events this weekend. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe down below if you want to see some more PTCG content. And have a good day and peace.